the Nazca Lines of Peru. For centuries, the mysterious Nazca Lines of Peru have puzzled historians, archaeologists, mystics, sages, and prophets. These massive geoglyphs, figures of animals, shapes, and intricate lines stretching across the desert, are designed to be read from the sky. Some shapes on hillsides are nudges for developing civilizations to look deeper from higher. What purpose did they serve? And why were they created with such precision? Our findings demonstrate that the Nazca Lines encode a vast, interwoven story that transcends individual lifetimes and civilizations. By presenting records of reincarnation, spiritual development, and civilizational history, these geoglyphs reveal an ancient understanding of humanity's purpose within a multidimensional cosmos. Today we reveal an extraordinary breakthrough, a cipher to decode the hidden stories. The stories told by the Nazca Lines. Join us as we uncover the spiritual and civilizational narratives encoded in these ancient formations. First, we will look at the influence of previous scholars, those of the occult to those more, shall we say, scientifically minded. Here are some of the more notable researchers who have either explored these geoglyphs or have influenced their interpretation as part of the Akashic record. 1. Erich von Däniken. Erich von Däniken is a Swiss author and a key figure in the ancient astronaut theory. In his groundbreaking book, Chariots of the Gods, 1968, he proposed that the Nazca Lines were created as landing strips for extraterrestrial visitors. According to von Däniken, the immense size and precise geometric forms of the lines imply that they were designed to be viewed from above, suggesting that an advanced, possibly extraterrestrial civilization once used them for navigational or ceremonial purposes. Impact. While his theories remain controversial, von Däniken's perspective has inspired a wave of alternative interpretations that see the lines as evidence of ancient knowledge linked to otherworldly visitors. A great tale, yet, as you shall see, it distracts from the messages of the lines, and that is our focus. The debate about who made them can continue, and we will surely find that within the stories. But let's get to the stories, shall we? 2. Edgar Cayce. Edgar Cayce, known as the Sleeping Prophet, was an American mystic who explored various aspects of ancient civilizations, often through psychic readings. Although Cayce did not specifically address the Nazca Lines in his readings, his teachings on the Akashic records and his views on ancient cultures like Atlantis suggest an interpretive lens that some followers apply to the Nazca Lines. In this context, they are seen as symbols encoded with cosmic knowledge and records accessible to those with heightened spiritual insight. Impact. Cayce's focus on the Akashic records has influenced esoteric interpretations of the lines as repositories of universal knowledge, connecting the Nazca culture with global spiritual traditions. With this, we agree and will demonstrate. 3. Zecharia Sitchin. Zecharia Sitchin, author of The 12th Planet and other works on the ancient astronaut theory, proposed that the Nazca Lines, like other ancient structures, were created with advanced knowledge shared by extraterrestrial beings. He suggested that the lines could have been used for advanced technological or celestial purposes, possibly linked to communication with beings from other planets, specifically the Anunnaki, whom he believed influenced ancient cultures. Impact. Sitchin's theories while controversial, have expanded interest in the Nazca Lines as potential markers of ancient knowledge that goes beyond earthly civilization. Yes, they are, but by saying aliens, we lose perspective on attempting to answer. What's the real story here? 4. José Argüelles. Argüelles, a scholar and visionary of Mayan cosmology, did not specifically analyze the Nazca Lines, but his work on planetary consciousness and the law of time has influenced interpretations of sacred sites worldwide. Many see the Nazca Lines as resonating with Argüelles' concept of Earth-based spiritual grids, sites that channel cosmic energies and align humanity with planetary cycles. Argüelles' influence lends a view that the lines could serve as part of a global network for connecting to cosmic and Earth energies. Impact. His theories encourage looking at the Nazca Lines as part of a larger system of Earth grids and ley lines, representing a link between humanity and cosmic forces. Further investigation may reveal this. However, once again, we lose the story by expanding the site too much. It is vast enough already, covering thousands of miles of Peru, Bolivia, and more. 5. Tony Shearer. Tony Shearer, a poet and author with a deep interest in Native American and Mesoamerican cosmology, was known for his work on the symbolism of ancient sacred sites and symbols. Though he did not write directly about the Nazca Lines, his interpretations of sacred sites as cosmic mirrors for spiritual journeys align with the idea of the lines as symbolic pathways. This approach would see the Nazca Lines as records of cosmic cycles and spiritual transformation, encoding the mythic history of human and pre-human souls. Impact. Shearer's work on symbols and cosmic time cycles has influenced a mystical view of the lines, seeing them as spiritual pathways or cosmic diagrams for spiritual seekers. Okay, but how about the stories? We're getting there. 6. Rudolf Steiner. While Steiner, the founder of anthroposophy, never commented on the Nazca Lines specifically, his followers sometimes apply his ideas on cosmic evolution and spiritual science to them. Steiner's belief in humanity's evolving spiritual consciousness through cosmic influences might position the Nazca Lines as symbolic records of these stages, suggesting they were left by ancient people who had profound spiritual knowledge of cosmic laws. Impact. Steiner's theories inspire interpretations of the Nazca Lines as markers of a civilization deeply attuned to spiritual realms, possibly as teaching tools for future generations. Yes, so let's read them, but there's more. 7. Paul Devereaux. Paul Devereaux, a researcher of earth mysteries and ley lines, has studied geoglyphs and other ancient earth markings extensively. He proposes that these structures, including the Nazca Lines, function as shamanic paths and symbols meant to be walked by shamans or spiritual practitioners in ritualistic processes. This interpretation sees the Nazca Lines as spiritual pathways that were meant to be experienced on the ground, guiding shamans in journeys of transformation. Impact. Devereaux's views add a mystical dimension to the Nazca Lines, suggesting they were practical spiritual tools rather than mere symbols. These mystics and thinkers offer a variety of interpretations, from extraterrestrial connections to deep spiritual and cosmic symbolism. Although controversial, their perspectives invite us to consider the Nazca Lines as more than historical artifacts. Instead, they present the lines as part of a greater spiritual, cosmic, or interdimensional message, a forgotten story, awaiting rediscovery. So, let's go read them. Of course, we must also consider the views of mainstream archaeology. Conclusion of mainstream archaeology's view. 8. Mainstream archaeology views the Nazca Lines as the product of the Nazca civilization's spiritual beliefs, practical needs, and cultural identity. The consensus is that the lines likely served multiple purposes, combining ritual functions with societal and possibly astronomical significance. While individual theories vary, mainstream archaeologists generally emphasize cultural and environmental explanations rooted in Nazca society rather than extraterrestrial or mystical interpretations. These interpretations continue to be debated, with many archaeologists calling for further research into the environmental, social, and ritual practices of the Nazca people. As more advanced techniques become available, studies may reveal more about the Nazca civilization, shedding additional light on why these monumental lines were created. Had enough speculation, esoteric theory, and plain old guessing mixed with conjecture? We definitely have. Our research demonstrates that the Nazca Lines are not ancient art or astronomical calendars, nor are they religious or ceremonial. They do not irrigate, nor do they indicate by pointing to something distant, like a star or other landmass that is not their purpose. They are, in fact, a sophisticated narrative system, a code designed to transmit the story of evolution, both spiritual and physical, not only of humans, but all sentient species that have developed civilizations on Earth. And as the Nazca Lines tell us, there have been many, numbering in the hundreds, possibly thousands. Some were super sentient and spacefaring. Others had interdimensional technologies. And others were relegated to our idea of Neanderthal. Stone tools perhaps being the height of their creative spirit's abilities. By analyzing these geoglyphs, we discovered that each shape, animal, and line has a role in telling a tale far deeper than previously imagined. We also established that the recognizable glyphs we see are intended to be viewed alongside and indeed intertwined with the images from the Akashic record created by Earth's consciousness. Some images represent stages of spiritual growth. Take, for instance, this formation, a face with energy centers beneath it. We recognize these as chakras, symbols of spiritual energy. In the Nazca interpretation, this figure symbolizes the human spirit's journey from pre-human incarnations to the complex consciousness we know today. On the right of the picture is a grouping of creatures, none that match a human description, yet are the previous incarnations of this spirit. It is from these incarnations that the spirit gets more attuned to perfecting the expression of the DNA it has at its disposal to build a physical body. In this incarnation, the being has a light in its eye. This is the spark of awareness and genius that all humans must earn before they can be born a human. This spark also contains humanity's potential downfall. The ego. Other images depict mastery over physical reality. Here we see a being enveloped in energy, seemingly lifting a stone through telekinetic power. This visual speaks to the potential of consciousness, aligning with mystical traditions worldwide that speak of spiritual mastery as a stage in humanity's evolution. But it doesn't stop at the individual level. The Nazca Lines also depict the evolution of entire civilizations, including their inevitable destruction. In this shape, we see symbols that stand for cities and auric fields, the collective energy of a society. Yellow marks the cities, while green represents the aura. Red arrows show the auric field being collected by the geometric object and presented therein as images of that civilization, its achievements, conflicts, issues, and, as all things must, the civilization end, the why and how of it. Modern science often dismisses pareidolia, seeing patterns in random images, as subjective. However, in the Nazca Lines, pareidolia isn't accidentally creating images that meld with the drawn figures. It's recognized as intentional, utilized alongside identifiable shapes to ensure that future civilizations could interpret the message, but only by using both image types. The Nazca designers combined cymatic shapes with recognizable images to communicate across the ages, suggesting that they anticipated a future audience capable of both spiritual insight and technological prowess, manifesting as suborbital flight at the minimum. These interpretations align with the concept of the Akashic records, a universal record of all knowledge that we have been sharing for many years. The Nazca Lines are designed as a portal into this record, a message to those in the distant future about sentient beings and their spiritual and civilizational journey, with sanguine warnings, consequences, and the vast potentialities life has the capability to manifest in this three-dimensional cosmos. These ancient creators may have believed that only those who could understand both material science and spiritual truth would grasp their message, as they would be the only kind that could implement the learnings and grow their technology spiritually as well as materially. Our work has only just begun. The Nazca Lines offer a profound record of human and civilizational evolution, integrating concepts of spirituality, reincarnation, and cosmic history. By decoding the Nazca Lines as a complex narrative system, we open a portal to understanding ancient knowledge systems designed for a distant future audience. This initial breakthrough provides the groundwork for a collaborative and ongoing exploration of these records. Humanity stands at the threshold of rediscovering a long-forgotten history embedded within the Earth's surface, inviting us to read, understand, and learn from these ancient messages. We invite scholars, historians, and spiritually attuned individuals to use this cipher and explore the vast story contained within the Nazca Lines. We ask that they share their findings for the benefit of humanity. The world contains other geoglyphic sites, each with its own chapter of this ancient story. Yet, within the Nazca Lines, we see a detailed summary of not only Earth's history, but the history and workings of our entire cosmos. What secrets will we uncover next? The Nazca Lines remind us that Earth's past is vast, complex, and perhaps more interconnected with the spiritual than we ever imagined. As we stand on the edge of rediscovering these ancient messages, we must ask ourselves, are we ready to embrace both the knowledge and wisdom left behind? These lines were meant for a time when a civilization would rediscover its cosmic purpose. That time is now, and we are that civilization, are we not? As we read the stories from the Nazca Lines in Peru. We will share with you how the geometric imagery fits with the Akashic record, so you may learn to read these stories yourself. By the way, they are to share with the world. That's why they are there. Like, share and subscribe if you want to be part of this ongoing discovery of the stories told by the Nazca Lines. Thanks for being here.